Yo, it's Guido coming at you with an update, a coffee talk supplemental. In the throes of trying to figure out these computers, or this computer anyway. So I'm going to show you what's going on here in just a second. But I've got both computers up and running. I have a one screen on each one because the old screen I have is the old plug. I suppose there's probably a conversion plug somewhere as well, but I haven't got around to that one yet. Still trying to figure out what's going on. So I bought this thing, which you can see over here, the ABS Gladiator. We got it about on November 24th or 25th or 26th, somewhere in there. And as you know, I was using it. It was working pretty well. Now here's the thing: when I thought I did a video and put it out to you guys, I can't find it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, we're gonna do a quick review of it as well and take a look at it here in a minute. With the old phone camera, the highest of technology with my iPhone -7 that I have. This thing, it's got everything here. You know what I'm talking about? We're talking about Intel i9, not the very top, but pretty good. The old Rocket Lake 3.5 gigahertz. It's got a 3080 FTW3, 10 gigabyte card. Motherboard is the Asus ROG Strix 590E gaming with Wi-Fi. 32 gig of Corsair, 3200 megahertz, 216 gig sticks. SSD is 2 single terabyte M2 NVMe SSDs. CPU cooler is a 280 fan, but I think it's got what is it, integrated or whatever? It's liquid basically. It's got that going on. I thought it was just a fan, but you can see in the picture there it's got the old liquid action going on top of that bad boy. It's got 850 watt Corsair, yada yada. It's got all the lights and whatnot in it. So what's been happening is, well, let me back up. The first time I opened it up and started it up, it crashed on World of Tanks to blue screen twice. So looked around, got the old webinator out to see what's going on, a little Google foo, and found out that maybe of the many things on a clock watchdog timeout that it could be, one of them is the drivers. And that's kind of what I thought right off the bat. I'm like, maybe I have some kind of driver issue with my graphics card, right? You don't want to think it's hardware or whatever. So I downloaded that and it seemed to work. And then I went for about 2 weeks and everything seemed copacetic, maybe even closer to 3 weeks. Starting to get videos put out with that computer. Looks a lot better, does a lot better than the old standby, which I'm going to show you. Oh, by the way, that's what I'm doing this video on right now, is the Warrior GTX 1080 GTX Ti, which has been the old standby for probably 6 or 7, 8 years at this point. So I crashed a couple times, I update the drivers, I get everything set up. I run it for a while and I pull out the SSDs from the old one, I pop them into the new one. It's actually set up so you can do that. It's very nice. You can see from the picture, and I'll show you here in a minute, it's very clean the way it's built. Extremely happy with it. I went out and got another monitor because I only had one of the big 27 inches and I wanted another one, and as I noted, it's got the old plug on the back of my second monitor I used to use, which is ancient. I'll show it to you in a minute. Old Samsung sitting over there. So I got two more or less matching LGs. One's a little bit better 4K, the other one's a little bit older, but they look more or less the same. The bezel's slightly different size on the older one, and everything's looking good. All right, got my two screens, I got my 3080, we're cooking along. And then probably about 3 or 4 days ago, coming out of a game just randomly, and Chrome, blue screen, clock, watchdog timeout. Like, what the heck? I'm thinking, maybe it's a one-off. Of course, everything starts back up, play it again, boom, crumps again. Seems to be doing it going in or coming out. Although it did crash once in the middle of a game, but it's usually going in or coming out. Then I played, I downloaded, I'm like, well, shoot, maybe it's the game, right? Maybe it's World of Tanks, that's some kind of issue, some kind of conflict. So I download Mountain Blade, crumps on that, and I'm thinking, great. So we got an issue of some kind here that's bigger than just World of Tanks. sit on that for a while. That was right when I was getting ready to do that big stream that I did a couple days ago. So emergency ops in the morning. We had coffee talk in the morning. Then I was supposed to stream for 3 or 4 hours. Ended up being 4 or 5 with Pilgrim on the World of Tanks page, World of Tanks Twitch channel. So that morning I get up early, flail around, pull the old rig back in, rehook it up. Of course, in the meantime, in 2 weeks of resetting up a new computer, I've changed a lot of files. I've moved things around. The graphics are in other places. I have to find all that crap, put it, you know how that goes, right? I've got the old plug-in hard disk that I'm back and forth grabbing files and doing the damn things I need to do. Finally get that thing up and running. So I tried to call them the Friday before all of that mess. So this is going to be a bit of a review of the ABS and the customer service. Tried to call on Friday. It was later in the day, and I get the robo, hey, we're really busy, leave a message, blah, blah, blah. We'll contact you in 24 hours. Well, that was about 15 minutes before their advertised closing time. They're open from 7:30 to 5:30 Pacific. So I'm like, all right, screw that. I'll call them on Monday. Then that weekend I do all that mess I was talking about. And this Monday, which is right now, I get up, do my thing, get my workout in, and then at 9:30 my time, 7:30 their time, we call. And I get the same, I get highly irritated. I'm already irritated because brand new computer shouldn't be doing this, but you know what? Stuff happens, stuff gets jostled, bad stuff gets put in. If it's a, bad component, blah, blah, blah. There's 800 billion things it could be, right? So I get the robo thing again. Hey, we're really busy. And I'm thinking, dude, it's Monday morning. It's literally 5 minutes after you open, and I'm already getting the busy leave a message. So I didn't really have high hopes. I left my message. Here's my order number. I got it from Newegg, by the way, and ABS happens to be the Newegg in-house builder. So I leave my number, and they say within 24 hours. And then I'm thinking, well, you know what? That is a terrible plan, because who knows where the heck I will be when they call back, right? Driving in my car, at work, in a movie, whatever, at the grocery store, not near my phone, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, I'm really feeling like I'm going to have the ring around the rosy dick dance from hell dealing with this thing. And fortunately, I was sitting there, and they called back within probably 30 minutes. And what I was doing was playing World of Tanks, trying to get the thing to crump again. Because what I wanted to do was record it with my phone. Because that's how high tech I am, recording screens with a phone. But of course, if I'm running OBS, when it crashes, it's not really going to record itself crashing, is it? So I got to have some kind of external. I suppose I could have turned my camera here that's on my other computer. And again, I'll show you how the disaster that this room is right now based on this whole situation in just a moment. But to their credit, they did call back. So I'm going to give them points there. I'm going to take away about 800,000,079 thousand points for the broken computer. Or I don't know what is going on. Maybe it's operator error. I don't think so. You should be able to just turn it on and it doesn't blue screen, right? I think that's not unreasonable. I think that's not unreasonable. So I get to talking to the guy. Said, all right, I'm getting blue screen, blah, blah, blah. And before really I get into anything, he's like, well, we'll send you some new RAM. Usually when it blue screens, it's RAM. I'm like, hold on there, Sporto. Hold on a second. Let me tell you what the error is. Now, I don't even have any idea if he has. More than likely, he has no idea. He's just the phone guy. So he said, well, let me take that. Let me go ask somebody. That's my first indication he has no idea. Which is fine. You got to hire people to answer your phone and all that stuff. So it's the clock watchdog timeout, as I've told you guys before, with the occasional machine check exception. I give him that piece of information. And basically, after a while, he comes back, well, you got two choices. We can send you some RAM, a new RAM kit. You can put that in and see if that does it. Or you can send it back for a refund. And I'm thinking, this is not good. This is not good. Although I didn't really expect much else than that. What are they going to do? Send somebody out from California? I don't know. It's not really going to happen. The good news is I kept the box, because I have a special superpower whereby I can buy broken tech stuff nearly 100% of the time. Every time I pull the trigger on a very expensive tech thing, it's broken. I am not kidding you. And this is the first pre-built I've bought since 2000 when I bought at Alienware. I've built my rigs ever since then. I'm rethinking that right now. But I'm going to try to be fair to ABS. I did leave them kind of a kind of a nasty gram review, but basically I said, you know, pros, it worked for 2 weeks. Cons, now it is the blue screen palooza, basically right now. Too expensive of a rig to have this happen. But as I said, this stuff happens. What are you going to do? So as of right now, I have a couple sticks of RAM coming in. I don't really think that's going to fix it. I hope so. I'm hopeful in that case, but my my logical brain says that's probably not it. It is something that could be that particular timeout problem, but there's a long list of 87.9 thousand other things that it could be. What have I done? I haven't messed with the BIOS. I did check it. It's not overclocked. I do know that. It doesn't really need to be based on the specs that it has and what I'm running it with, but it did not come overclocked. It has that capability. There's an AI tweaker in the ROG Strix and the Asus BIOS. The BIOS seems to be updated in the correct BIOS. I do have the correct drivers on it. I did run a Windows, albeit it is Windows, but I did run a Windows memory check. That seemed to be fine, no issues right there. So I've probably covered the main bases along the way without getting into, you know, more delving into things. It is a little interesting to me that he kind of immediately went to, hey, we'll send you some more RAM. I wonder if that means, well, it probably means exactly what I think it means, that they're having problems with RAM and they're figuring that's probably the issue. But it could be a lot more things. I'm really leaning towards a CPU issue, some kind of internal error with the CPU or problem with the CPU, or something's not working right there. But that's kind of a neophyte idea of it. But I have dug around with looking into a lot of stuff, so it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. So the RAM's coming. We'll put that in. We'll pull the old stuff out, put that in, see what happens for a few days, and then if that doesn't fix it, basically we're going to be sending this thing back and either getting a replacement, which, oh, by the way, I don't know if you can see it, but it says out of stock because these things are going like hotcakes. So the possibility of me getting one immediately is pretty low, I think. So more than likely what's going to happen is they'll refund me the money and I'll start shopping for a computer again. Which is awesome because I thought I'd already done that. I thought I did that. All right, so I do have the 1080 back up. I will start getting the videos going back out. Give me a second because I'm going to switch over to my phone and we're going to take a look at what I got going on right here. All right, here's the situation. So I've got the new computer off to the side here as I'm working on this thing. I've got the 1080 is under the desk where the computer should live. I've got two keyboards rocking right now, and then I've got the two screens. So the right one is on the 1080, the left one is currently on the new 3080 on the ABS computer. What a pain. And here's the ABS computer. I think I did a video, and I'll be honest, I looked for it, so I don't know if I ever published it. I remember some people I think were making comments, but that's how crazy things are. But it's pretty cool. Opens right up like that. It's got all the cool lights. You can see the 3080 card in there, which is mega hot. I mean, maybe that's it, but I did run some temperature tracking stuff, and it's in the acceptable range. But man, you touch that thing, it is super hot. So nice rig. Very cool. I've got the Wi-Fi. The little antenna works very nicely on it. No problem. You can see it's got the front fans there, and then up in there is you can see the water cooling. The water cooling pipes going across there. Feels like something's in there. So that's that one. Now we come over here and we've got the 1080. GTX Ti, that's the old guy right there, doing its thing. And I'm just sitting here trying to figure out, you know, what are we going to do? What a mess. What an absolute mess. Well, quick update before I actually finish this video. I was in the process of it. Played about 5 or 6 more games. And finally got another crash. So they're still buggered up. There was a moment where I thought it was actually maybe one of the SSDs was goobered up or something. but I haven't been running any SSDs on it. Just the one that just the hard drive that it came with. I took those out and I'm putting them back into my other rig. So this is what it's doing basically. Now, it's not always coming out of the game. Sometimes it's going in. Like I said, it has crashed in the middle of the game, but it seems like it's especially a problem coming out, whatever it's trying to do. Boom. The old blue screen over and over again. Got the old clock watchdog timeout. So, the new ABS is sidelined until I can get the new RAM. We'll put that in and see what happens. And at that point, I'm out of ideas. I'll be sending it back, like I said earlier in the video. So just a quick update. I'm completely back to the 1080. In fact, I got both my screens hooked up to it now. So I'm not even going to bother with that thing until the RAM comes back. You know, as I pulled everything out and cleaned it up, and like, all right, let's just see. Maybe it's some periphery I put on it, right? But it had a mouse, a keyboard, the Wi-Fi, and that's it, and it's still doing the same thing. So I've isolated all the extra stuff. I mean, you got to have a mouse and a keyboard, and I have run 2 different keyboards on it because it came with a nice one, and then I ran my old one, and I've run 2 different mice, so it doesn't seem to make any difference. Those are the only peripheries that were sitting on it, and it's still doing the same thing. So I pretty much isolated all the stuff I can do as far as I can tell in there, and it's been benched, man. So we're going to bring out the old veteran. The veteran's back in the game. That's all I've got. We'll see you guys later.